This is William K. Murtaugh, Mert Witness 1, and the subject of today's Mobilethon is celebrating lawlessness. Now, today on Facebook, there was a update of sorts regarding the case of Field McConnell. Now, even though the trial is still on hold and Field McConnell is still under house arrest at his son's house in Stuart, Florida, he is managing to get out to his audience, doing so apparently by letter to someone. And everybody is celebrating Field McConnell being this big hero, even though Field McConnell is charged with felony stalking because he advocated the death by execution of a Florida lawyer who he has never met. Now, what is the basis for Field McConnell's threatening the life of this woman, wanting her sent to Gitmo, wanting her executed? In one reported video, holding a severed head of the woman up to his audience. It is the word of a conspiracy theorist from Minnesota who himself has been charged with 4 counts of misdemeanor cyber stalking. Now, rather than answer the charges that were levied against him, the conspiracy theorist chose to run away, and there is currently a statewide warrant for his arrest. Now, whether or not the conspiracy theorist gets arrested for his alleged criminal acts is something that we're going to have to wait and see. It's been quite a long time since he ran away from his accusations, and he's made a bunch of accusations of his own, calling everybody pedophiles, saying others are frauds when he's been accused of being a fraud, and so on and so forth. It's one of these things where he projects his accusations onto others. Things that he's guilty of, he accuses others of. There's been reports that he's had a picture of his son dressed up as a little girl and other actions along this nature. But again, he's only accused. He hasn't been charged. He hasn't been convicted. And Field McConnell hasn't been charged and convicted yet. And the woman that they both are attacking has never even been charged with a crime. There's no investigation because there's no crime to investigate. They simply make things up out of thin air and attack this woman. And the strange thing about all this is there are people around him that celebrate this lawbreaking. Now, why is that? Well, it's because they agree with him politically. They are in favor of Trump. They are in favor of the QAnon agenda. And because of that, they throw due process, rules of evidence, and so on and so forth out the window. And they outright lie, accuse people of everything under the sun if these people disagree with their agenda or compete with their agenda. Now, this video is actually in 2 parts because there's a second part to this. I was going to make a separate video, but it's probably best I put it here in one. And that is accusations that have been made against Craig Sawman Sawyer. Now, the conspiracy theorist has accused me of being some kind of a media agent, ally, or spokesperson for Mr. Sawyer. And this, of course, is a liar. A lie. The conspiracy theorist is the liar. I'm not going to edit this mistake out. But, getting back to this, Mr. Sawyer, in my opinion, is just as bad, if not worse, than the rest of these idiots. But I don't care about Mr. Sawyer. What I care about are these conspiracy theorists. So what has happened is this one particular conspiracy theorist has been attacking Mr. Sawyer for quite some time, accusing him of being a fraud and the usual stuff. Now, on the day of this recording, Mr. Sawyer has been alleged to have sent a comment, email, or something to the conspiracy theorist stating that he is going to come and get him and his team, as demonstrated by this message. Now, there's something interesting about this message if one takes a close look at the IP address that is alleged to have been used on this so-called comment. The IP address on the blog service that's used by Mr. Conspiracy Theorist to acknowledge his theories has a system of identification so that you can moderate the messages and decide whether or not you want these things to appear. And in the body of the message appears the IP address of the alleged sender of the comment. So this presents a little bit of a dilemma. Now, if Mr. Sawyer did send this message to the conspiracy theorist, he has damaged a civil lawsuit that he has taken out against this particular conspiracy theorist and a number of other defendants. The one thing a good lawyer will tell the plaintiff is do not contact unnecessarily those you are suing, because it can be used against you. And certainly a threat of this nature could be used against Mr. Sawyer by the defendant when and if this case goes to court. Now, as of this date, I have not heard of anything regarding the civil case that has been filed in the state of Ohio regarding a number of defendants, including the one who claims this threat was sent to him. Because of the pandemic going on right now, most courts are not moving very fast, and it is difficult to get any information on the progress of these cases. Both the Field McConnell case, the Cynthia Absug case, and the Craig Sawyer case are being held up due to the virus. Now, Field McConnell is under house arrest. Cynthia Absug is in custody in Colorado, the last I knew. And the civil case is on hold due to the pandemic. But at some time in the future, all of these cases are going to move forward. And then we're going to find out if crime pays or it does not pay. I have completely lost faith in the legal system in this country. It appears that people can break the law and get away with it. We're seeing it every single solitary day. People are getting their sentences commuted. People are getting pardoned. People are getting early releases. People are basically getting off with a slap on the wrist. You name it, it's happening. The law doesn't seem to matter anymore. And the law only seems to matter when it's somebody that you're against politically. If you're a Democrat, you want the Republican to pay. If you're a Republican, you want the Democrat to pay. If you're QAnon, you want everybody to pay, with exceptions. So, whether or not the law is enforced apparently depends on what you believe in as far as the law. The same is true of the mask debate. You know, there are people out there that believe in the mask wearing, people that are out there that don't believe in the mask wearing. And there's been incidents of violence because of people that either refuse to wear the mask or people who are wearing the mask and are being attacked. This country is an unmitigated mess. Now, whether or not we are a country of laws and we are a civilized country that deals in truth, justice, in the American way is going to depend on how things move forward. We're at, I believe, around 91, 92 days from the general election. And that date is going to determine the course of the country for at least the next 20 years. And it's going to demonstrate whether or not the rule of law exists in this country, or whether or not we are going to deteriorate into anarchy. Those who believe in the rule of law need to vote for the rule of law. Those who do not believe in the rule of law will vote in their own way. And at the end of the day, we are going to find out where we are going as a country, and by extension, as a planet. So until later, this is William K. Murtaugh, Witness 1. Have a good one.